What happened?
They're like
They're recording.
This
Oh.
is a demonstration
Do you
of
wanna see more of
Wirecast.
the slides, so maybe if we,
Sure.
Okay, so I'll start again. So hi everyone, I'm Stéphanie Breton. As Ellen mentioned, I was PAL president in 2014-2015. I was also involved in PAL before then. I graduated in May 2015 from mechanical engineering at McGill. About
This
me.
is
I'll
a
just give
demonstration
brief
of
info,
Wirecast.
just a few information that can help you ask me questions from my background, and then I'll ask you the same just so I can know from where you come from, where you're at McGill, what kind of tips I could give you. So I come from a town just outside Montreal, so I'm a Québécoise, and I came to McGill, but first I did Cégep, so everyone comes from the province of Quebec does Cégep. So that was kind of a bridge for me. That's where I learned English. So I'm francophone originally, but I learned English in Cégep. And
This is a
That
demonstration
was
of
quite a big
Wirecast.
language barrier, but it was totally worth it. I did in Cégep. I did natural sciences, so pure and applied. That was also kind of a bridge between high school and university. Not everyone goes through that. And then at McGill, I was involved in POW, as I mentioned, but I was also involved in SEAM, so Sustainability and Engineering at McGill. I did a little bit of EWB, Engineers Without Borders. I was a TA for a course, PDEs. If some of you are in mechanical engineering, you might know that lovely course. So I was involved in
This is
that.
a demonstration
I did also a
of
bit
Wirecast.
US Council, things like that. So I've seen quite a lot of activities. I played broomball, played soccer, so fun things too. And yeah, then I also did courses, obviously, because I graduated. And then I went on to pursue my master's degree. So I'm currently doing my master's degree also in mechanical engineering, but in Switzerland. So I kind of took a plane and went to the other side of the ocean, and I'm doing my master's degree right now. I hope that with this you can kind of
This is
think
a
of
demonstration
things you
of
would like to ask me based
Wirecast.
on where you want to go or where you come from, and I really want this to be more of a discussion than me just throwing things at you. So I want to know just a little about you. If some of you, does anyone come from Quebec? Okay. And how many of you are international students who really left home to come here? Okay. And others are from the rest of Canada?
Yeah, rest of Canada, yeah.
Okay. And is anyone in first year?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
U0, U1, I don't know. Yeah, like first years. Okay. Anyone in their last year? Okay. It's coming. Okay, that's good. And the rest of, okay, so who's in, let's say, I will start with my favorite one, mechanical engineering. Who's in chem?
Ooh.
Oh la la. So chem overtook POW, I see. Who's in materials? Yay.
Proud.
Mining?
This is a demonstration
no.
of Wirecast.
Okay, and did I forget one? Bioresource?
That's coming, Ken.
Bioresource. Oh! Okay, so I didn't forget it, but it was not there when I was
nowhere
here,
near
so
it.
I didn't forget it. Okay. Who of you have done internships before? Okay. So I didn't mention it when I said a bit about me, but when I was at McGill, I did one summer where I did the SURE program, so I did research in a lab at McGill, and I also did
This
two
is a
internships,
demonstration of
in a company.
Wirecast.
So once I worked in design for an aerospace company, satellite company, and the other one I worked in green buildings, so doing more consulting engineering, but yeah, for the green building industry. And so today I came here not to lecture you, but really just to, again, make you feel more comfortable. We all have our worries, our concerns, our questions, and I mean, I'm not a seasoned veteran. I graduated 2 years ago, so there's only so much I can bring, but I still think that with my experience I can.
This
I
is
can
a
help you and answer
demonstration
some your
of
questions.
Wirecast.
So yeah, so worries, questions, concerns. I really want you to tell me what I can help you with, and it doesn't have to be like as I told you, I don't have like the secret or questions to answer the answers to everything you may ask, but just some concerns. I mean, I've had my own, and I still have my own, and I think that most of the questions, worries, and concerns you may have will match mine, and I think that's a good start of the conversation. So either you can I guess, tell them to me, or you can
This
write
is a
them
demonstration
down.
of Wirecast.
First, some people are more shy, and I totally understand that. So I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position, but you can write something down or just tell me out loud. Yes.
So you went to Switzerland, obviously. So like going overseas, like do you want to live overseas, or like why would you make that jump going all the way over there? Is there something about Switzerland that you like, or?
Okay, so that's. I mean, some of the answers are later in my slides, but yeah, I can answer
This
that.
is a demonstration of
I never did an
Wirecast.
exchange when I was at McGill, so I didn't study abroad, and I think that's something that was missing from my path at McGill. I come from not so far away from here. Yes, I came to the big city, but it's Montreal, it's my home, it's Quebec. So I had never lived abroad, and I think that's something that really changes you. And not only does it change you, but it changes the way you see things, and you learn so much more about yourself when you're not in your comfortable environment. You know, here I have my friends, my family, I know how things work, I know
This is
the
a
culture.
demonstration
And when
of
you go
Wirecast.
elsewhere, that's where you realize that, okay, things are done differently somewhere else, and you also learn much more about where you come from, because, you know, when I'm here, I'm not like Steph from Quebec or Steph from Canada, because everyone is. But when you're abroad, then people will be like, oh, you're from Montreal, like, tell me about this, and you actually, I mean, you don't necessarily learn more, but you really talk more about where you come from, what you like, what's living here like, and so I think that's something that was really missing from.
This is a demonstration
I've had my doubts,
of
right? Like, I
Wirecast.
moved to Switzerland, and for I guess a month, I didn't unpack my bags. I was not ready to stay there. I was like, I cried. I called my mom. Why did you let me go? You know, like, it was just an idea. I didn't actually want to move out. I was questioning myself. Why did I leave everyone I know, everyone I love, my families, people who are there to support me? Why did I leave? You know,
This
everything I
is a
knew?
demonstration of
And it took some time
Wirecast.
to find the answer, but I know that it changed me, and it just made me more me, I guess, because really you have to, when you're around friends, you know, they know you for who you are, and you don't necessarily have to, when you meet new people, I think that's where you define yourself better. You have to be like, okay, these people don't know me, how do I want to present myself? And you're faced constantly with that when you move abroad and you literally know no one, you know? So I
This
think that's
is a
why.
demonstration
And
of
course, there was
Wirecast.
the choice of the school, so I chose a school that was, it's a good school in Switzerland. Switzerland, I mean, back to the first slides, there's the Alps, there's nature, it's really pretty, it's expensive too, but so for me that was the place to go. But I think everyone has one place where they could go visit for instance, on exchange. You know, it's a really good thing. Grades don't necessarily count. You have pass or fail, okay, but you can enjoy a lot of the place you're going to. And
This
so
is a
really
demonstration
recommend it. I
of
didn't do it, and I kind of
Wirecast.
regret it after, so I decided to take a 2-year, I guess, exchange. So yeah. Yes.
Are you planning on working abroad afterwards?
That's a good question. So I will skip through my slide and just go here. So when I figured out it's okay not to have it all figured out or not to have a plan. So really, people ask you all the time when you're in your bachelor's, people will be like, what do you do after you're in your last year? What are you going to do after? What are you going to do when you graduate?
This is a
And same thing for me,
demonstration
right?
of
I'm
Wirecast.
now in the second year of my master's. I finish in about mid-July. I'll be done and get my degree in October. So everyone's like, what are you doing after? And right now, I can tell you, I don't know. And I have no plan to figure it out yet. And I'm okay with that. And I think when it's the first time, let's say after bachelor's, that you really have to make a decision of what are you going to do after, you feel a lot of stress. You're like, I need to know, I need to figure it out, and I want to choose or pick something that I'm going to like. And
This is a
it's
demonstration
a lot of stress
of
for
Wirecast.
yourself, and I think it's okay to just to realize that you don't have to know. You really don't. Of course, you're going to have to make decisions and pick something and eat. If it's a first job, if it's going abroad, if it's traveling, you have to choose something, but there's no good answer. And so am I going to work there after? I've had times when I was sure I would. I was like, I will like find a job in Switzerland after, so I've done a bit of networking, find some contacts, and I have this kind of plan. But then some other time I would be like, there
This
is
is
no
a
way.
demonstration
I'm
of
graduating in a day,
Wirecast.
they give me my degree, I fly back home and I stay there. You know, so I've had my phases and it depends. And I think it will come. I will figure it out. But for now, I don't know yet. Yes.
So are you graduating this semester?
So semesters. It's a bit strange in Switzerland. I flew just 2 weeks ago, and that was the end of my fall semester, which is winter semester there. So I started school in September.
This is a
and
demonstration
then we have
of
school until Christmas,
Wirecast.
and then we have 2 weeks for Christmas off, and we have weeks to study, and then we have weeks of exams until February. So it's very different, but yes, I have 1 semester left, let's say. I'm going back to do the end of my thesis. It's applied project, and then I'll graduate just in July. Yeah. Yes?
What's your thesis on?
That's a good question. You're in mechanical, so maybe you'll be more interested than other people. But before answering that, I'll say
This is a
something.
demonstration
When you
of
think about
Wirecast.
what do I want to do after? You think of I have to pick a field. You know, I have to know what I want to work in. Is it this? Is it this? Is it? And for me, it was renewable energy. That was I want to work in renewable energy. And then what I hadn't realized is that means nothing, because renewable energy could be I want to work on the grid, which is literally a degree in itself, or I want to design wind turbines, which is also a degree in itself, and everything is really, specific, and saying I want to work in renewable energy doesn't mean much. But that's still why I went to Switzerland. I wanted to
This
do more
is a
towards
demonstration
energy.
of
That's what my
Wirecast.
master's is in. And so my thesis is, in Switzerland they have, so I know it all in French now, give me a second. But basically they burn all the waste, and so they have big usines, big plants that do that. And then I'm going to design and optimize a system that's going to do district heating for a city in Switzerland. So they burn the waste, and then they recover the heat, and then they do different networks.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
To heat up, and then I have to optimize that so that it's paired with, gas. What is chaudière?
A boiler, like a heater.
Yeah, like let's say normal gas boilers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or also renewable energy sources that are more intermittent. So I have to kind of optimize so that everyone have heat when they need. So that's my thesis.
Okay.
Yeah. Other questions? Yes.
So did you choose a master's specifically because you
This
wanted to
is a
learn more about
demonstration
renewable
of
energy?
Wirecast.
Or why'd you decide to do a master's?
That's a really good question. So again, master's degree. When I tell people I'm doing my master's, they have in mind that I'm doing my master's just as if I did it at McGill, which is not the case. At McGill, if you do a master's, most masters, there's differences, but it's a 1.5 or 2 year thesis. It's research in a lab. So you work for like a 1.5 years on your thesis, and then you publish, hopefully, but you write your thesis, and that's it. For me, my 2 years in Switzerland are much more.
This is a demonstration of
5th and 6th
Wirecast.
year of bachelor's. So it's course-based. I had 9 courses for my 2 first semesters, and then still 7 courses this past semester, with projects too. So I did a little bit of kind of research, but so it's very different. So choosing a master's, you have to know why you're doing it. For me, it was exactly that. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and there was no focus. I mean, at the end, you have tech comps, the same as in chem or any other.
This is a
you learn about
demonstration
things
of
you don't care during
Wirecast.
your bachelor's, which is normal, you might do structure, and you might do hydraulics, but what you really want to do is this, and so you only had maybe 1 or 2 courses in it. So that's why I went to do my master's there. I was like, okay, now I have 2 years, or a 1.5 years really, of courses that I can choose, almost only tech comps in something that interests me. So that's why I did my master's there. But that's also something really important. Sometimes people, they say, I want to do grad school, and before you get your nose into it and really look at
This
grad
is
school
a
and
demonstration
applications and
of
programs,
Wirecast.
you have no idea what it is. You think, I want to do grad school, but there is so much, so many different programs out there and so many different options. And I want more questions and concerns and things after, but I'm just going to go through a few things that really helped me, I guess, in being okay with not having a plan and not having it all figured out, and also in terms of when I had questions and concerns, what I would do. So I've also, some of you had questions. let's say, concerns for me.
This
There
is
was,
a demonstration
when you
of
come to graduate, what are
Wirecast.
you going to do after? And I mean, that was a question I had like years ago, and I still have it now. So that's one that doesn't really go away, but it's learning not to have an answer necessarily. Other ones were like, going international, trying something new, going really out of your comfort zone. That was something that was for me very, I guess, worrying, and I've learned to deal with a little at least. And I think once you try to find answers
This
to these
is a
questions,
demonstration
you
of
realize
Wirecast.
that it's not that bad. I mean, as in like moving away from me at first sounded like whoa. Whereas now, if there was a job I really wanted that was somewhere completely anywhere on the globe, I would be much more willing to do it because I'm like, okay, it's scary, but I moved to Switzerland and I managed. So I think that's something that's really good to remind ourselves. And it's really, if I did a little thing okay, then, or great, I can do a bigger thing well too. So I think that's something to really remind ourselves.
This is
so
a demonstration
how
of Wirecast.
How do we go through all this? You do your bachelor's, you do your master's, you have a lot of worries, questions, things. I think the first thing is using available resources. So that's me and Shindima. I don't know if you know her. She works at the Career Center. So available resources. Sometimes we think that might be just, I guess, let's say the Career Center, that's one thing. One resource that I would say most of us underutilize is professors. So really, you go to class, you have a prof that teaches, they tell you
This
stuff that
is
you're
a
not really
demonstration
interested
of
about, and they're not
Wirecast.
interested about either, by the way. I mean, you will have a professor who did his bachelor's, his master's, his PhD, postdoc, who did research, and who now research is something that he's hopefully passionate about, and he's teaching you Thermo 1. Of course he's not, the most interesting person. Some of them do it better than others. Some are more pedagogue. Some really aren't that great at it. But outside of class, professors are a huge resource, both
This
for
is a
material that you are
demonstration
taught
of
in class, but also
Wirecast.
for answering questions that have some other things to do. Like professors know what it is to be under stress. They know what it is to, for instance, not thinking you can make it. They've gone through it, and probably much more than you have up to now in your schooling. So I think that's something we forget. And in terms of looking for what to do after, they also had to ask themselves this question. If you're thinking about grad school, the first person you should talk to is professors. They've done it. But if you're also thinking about working,
This is a
and you're
demonstration
kind
of
debating between,
Wirecast.
do I want to do more schooling or do I want to do, a job? They also went through this question, and they have a lot of insights to give you. That's what I did, and not enough, but you really going to professors and just being like, so, where did you study? And they're like, okay. But then, I mean, they like to talk about this stuff too, and they'll tell you, oh, I did this, and then I did my master's there, and then you're like, oh, really? Like, what kind of labs are there? Or like, why did you choose this and not this? And they can teach you a lot, but not only Thermo 1. And I think that's
This
something
is a
that we don't
demonstration
enough.
of Wirecast.
The other one is, for instance, the Career Center. There's a lot of events, so many organized by them, and sometimes it's like, I have other things I have to do. I have to study, of course, but I have this and this and this. But there are some really, really useful things. Like, I went to the Negotiate Your Salary,
Workshop?
Yeah, workshop when I was here, and that was one for me that was really, wow, okay, I needed that. There's other ones that might be better for you, but taking the time off, like the
This
typical
is a demonstration
curriculum
of
work
Wirecast.
to prepare yourself for after is something that is really useful. And then available resources, that's also friends, and it's also groups like POW. And you're surrounded by people who go through the same thing-ish as you, and that's a really powerful, I use this word all the time when I smile, powerful resource. You have people who ask themselves the same question, but might go through a different path of thinking, and that might help you solve your own issue.
This is a
And having
demonstration
something that
of
is,
Wirecast.
the first time I came to a POW meeting, I have to tell you, so it was my second year at McGill, and I was doing mostly schools and a bit of things unrelated, but I was surrounded by guys. Okay. And then people told me, oh yeah, but there's this room called POW, and I was like, oh, okay. So I came down, entered the common room, and then there was like 10 girls sitting, like, it's so girly, and I was like shocked. I was like, oh my god, this is not what I'm used to at McGill, like at least not in engineering.
This
And
is a
then I joined
demonstration
and I was
of
a bit shy, and I was
Wirecast.
like, okay. And then I became myself and I was like, okay, this is great. I feel like I'm surrounded by people who get me and people who understand me. And earlier someone said, you know, what's the best thing? It's like buying clothes, or what did you say? I forgot.
Buying shoes.
Yeah. The best feeling ever is getting a new pair of shoes. And I was like, I missed that. Right? It's really good, you know, just to be surrounded by people who understand you and you can share different things with than the people you do group projects with. And having guys in POW is even better. I'm really, really happy that we have this.
This is a
you know,
demonstration
this
of
mix.
Wirecast.
It makes the group even more relevant than it used to be when it would be just girls. So yeah. So available resources, and then be resourceful. I think that's something that's really important too. Giving back. So I guess me being here, but also just the POW conference, for instance. You know, like being with people that are younger and will go through what you're going now is a really good way to know yourself better again. When I used to do mentoring for POW, I mean, I still do, but
This
mentoring
is a
for
demonstration
POW, or
of
when I would
Wirecast.
do outreach, you know, you're with these people that ask you, why did you choose engineering? Or what is this? Or how does this work? And you're like, oh, they make you question yourself much more than when you're surrounded by someone who you go to school with. And they ask you much more, you know, why did you do this? And you know, just before when you guys were kind of bombarding me with like, why did you do this? Why this? Why this? It's, you know, the first time I got these questions, I was a bit like startled, you know. But when you get these questions over and over again, you question yourself and you get
This
to know
is a
yourself
demonstration
much better.
of Wirecast.
You find a justification for your actions, and that's really, really meaningful for your own self. So I think be resourceful is also the other side of using resources, but yourself being a resource. I think that's really useful too. Put yourself out there. So who's gone to Tech Fair before? Who's had good experiences at Tech Fair? Who's had less good experiences at Tech Fair?
Wasn't bad.
This
Okay,
is a
who
demonstration
thinks-
of
Who
Wirecast.
think it was useless? No, but it's okay. Okay. Who thinks it was useful? Did you get a job out of Tech Fair? Okay. Did you get a job out of Tech Fair? Internship? Interview. Okay.
I got a pen.
You got a pen. Yeah, I got lots of pens. You don't realize how like free goodies are, like how good it is until you move to Switzerland. I went to
This is a
Tech Fair in
demonstration
Switzerland,
of
and you'll hear, I would be
Wirecast.
like, oh yeah, pretty pen. There I was literally like, pens and Post-its. Yeah, it's much more expensive. So put yourself out there. That can mean two things, but in terms of more career, you hear all the time, you know, networking is important. You should network. You should network. Who thinks they understand what networking means? Don't be shy. I mean, yeah. And who thinks it's more
This
like
is a demonstration of
networking?
Wirecast.
What does that exactly mean? No? Okay. Yes, no, it's fine. I mean, even now I'm pretty much on this side of what is networking, you know. So there's different types of networking. Some of them are much more direct, like you go somewhere and you're like, here's my business card and I have a business idea. So that's pretty direct. And there's other times where it's much more, here's what I did in my life, here's where I kind of want to go, what did you do, you can help me and then we can help each other, and that's also networking.
This is a
Put
demonstration
yourself out
of
there. I put that,
Wirecast.
so I'll tell you what this picture is. So that's me at Tech Fair in Switzerland. CSD Ingenieur is the company I'll be doing my master's thesis with. So what I explained just before about the district heating network, they're the one building it. So I'll be working for them. I was at Tech Fair, I was really insecure and I was not too comfortable. I mean, my third year at McGill going to Tech Fair, I knew all the companies because they're all the same every year after year, so you feel a bit more comfortable, you know people.
This is a
there I was,
demonstration
like,
of
in my
Wirecast.
first, you know, like walking with my papers like this and being like, what do I do? I have my series, but I don't know who to give them to. I was not feeling so comfortable. My friend had gone to see them and she's like, yeah, no, they have like nice, I don't know, like a kind of a book with like really fancy post-its and things. And I was like, okay, I'll go. So I went there. There was only the 4 men you see there are all working there. So there was no one at the booth. And then I slowly advance, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not feeling so comfortable. Then he's like,
This
who
is
of
a
us do you want to
demonstration
talk to?
of Wirecast.
You. Then I start interacting, and I'm like, okay, give me the booklet with the fancy post-its. But in the end, I asked him just, what do you do? And he's like, what do you study? Why did you come to Switzerland? And then we just, chit-chat, really informal. And then I feel more comfortable, and then we talk, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, you have your CV? And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't, plan to give it to you. He's like, yeah, no, come on. And then he helps me just look at my CV, reviews, gives a few tips. And I was like, okay, thank you. And I leave, had no intention of
This
ever
is a
getting call
demonstration
from
of
them or
Wirecast.
And they're the first company that called me and was like, hey, you want an interview? We would be interested. Maybe you want to do your master's thesis with me. And I was like, okay. So it's not necessarily when you expected that things happen. And I had the similar experience when I was at McGill. And I went to Tech Fair and I was just waiting for my friend, because you go to Tech Fair with your friends, obviously. So it's just like, oh, my friend is still at her booth, so I'll just wait and walk around. And then there was this woman waiting alone at Bombardier, and I'm like, I'll go say hi. Then I go see her, and I'm like, hi. Then
This is a
she
demonstration
asked me,
of
a random question,
Wirecast.
and then she realizes that her husband works with my dad at the same company, and then all of a sudden she becomes the most friendly person, and she's just like, oh my god, but that's so amazing, here's my email, write to me, what do you want, and it's just sometimes totally random things, it's not only about what's written on your CV, it can be anything else. There's another company I kind of matched with, because they saw that I played soccer on my CV. And, I had my grades, I had my projects, I had everything, and what
This
they,
is a
kind
demonstration
of
of
was,
Wirecast.
soccer. You play soccer, we have soccer at lunch at work. And I was like, I kind of want to work for you, So it can be something random, and really just go talk to these people. And it's hard, because most of the time you go there with, all the times I went there with a mindset of, I want to get an internship, it didn't happen. So most or not all of the opportunities I got were either from I know someone who knows someone who kind of, so this network, this really extended network, or really
This is a demonstration of
more, random
Wirecast.
things, that just discussion. We would talk about something, I don't know, oh, I went to Gaspé and I saw this and I really liked it. Oh yeah, well, I have an aunt who lives in Gaspé, and then you just, kind of, and then you become friends. And when the subject starts to go away from what did you study or what do you want to do, what kind of position are you interested in, when you go away from that, that's the most chance you have of connecting with someone and of them being interested in you. So when you go to Tech Fair, go to companies you think
This is a
you're
demonstration of
either not really
Wirecast.
interested in, or you think you have no chance of getting, do that. And if you're at talks at McGill, events where you have speakers, and don't just leave at the end. Really just go talk to them and ask them even, what kind of sports did you do when you were at university? Or I don't know, anything that doesn't necessarily have to do really directly with what they do. And that's when people start to relax and they become more friendly, and then you have much more chance of making a connection with them. And that can lead you to more opportunities after.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Put yourself out there can also mean, the first picture was me on top of a mountain in Switzerland. That's also me putting myself out there. I didn't think I could do that. I didn't think I could move away and then become an Alps hiker and things, But you go out there and you try new things, and then you accomplish much more than you think you can. So be yourself, and then I decided that was too but really be your healthy self. Being healthy,
This is a
that has
demonstration
different
of
meanings,
Wirecast.
and it's different for everyone. Being healthy for someone will mean eating, I don't know, avocado smoothie, drinking, I guess, avocado smoothie, and going to the gym 4 times a week. But for someone else, it's something completely different. It's like I go home after school and I binge on Gilmore Girls, and that for me is healthy, because healthy is not just being healthy, active. It's also mental health. And I think that's something that people don't emphasize enough. And when I was at McGill,
This is a demonstration
was
of
more stressed,
Wirecast.
and I was under much more pressure than I am now in Switzerland. But for the most part, it was, your own stress. You put pressure on yourself. Of course, the environment, the university academic environment is also very stressful. But a lot of the time, it's how do you deal with yourself, and what do you allow yourself to do that is outside of just studying and being successful at school. And so being healthy, for me, that meant buying myself a bicycle when I moved to Switzerland.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Every morning that I feel like it, you know, like it's okay. It's okay not to feel like doing sports sometimes, and it's okay to feel like skipping class sometime. I'm gonna tell you, it's okay. You know yourself better. You know, if you think you're gonna learn more if you sleep in and study after, that's fine. I'm not a morning person. For me, going to class at 8 a.m. will mean I waste 1 hour being half sleepy in class. You know, so either I try to take later classes, and if I can, then I try to kind of find another way to learn, because for me
this is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Some other people, it will be I wake up at 6 a.m., I go do my cardio, and I'm in class by 7:45, you know, so it's really different. But you know yourself and do what's good for you. Don't be confused by what is objectively right or objectively good and what is good for yourself. Sometimes it's easy to forget, and stay healthy. There's healthy, like active, but really mental healthy, I think, is something that we don't
This
think
is a
of
demonstration
enough.
of Wirecast.
For that. Like, it doesn't need to be like a stigma on mental health, but just, feeling stressed. Like, it's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes. It happens to me still after, I can't even count the number of years of studies, like it still happens, but it's okay to know, it's important to know what to do and to look for these people who can help you, or look within, to find what can help you. And it's okay not to know, again. Like, don't put too much pressure on
This
yourself,
is a
okay?
demonstration of
What I
Wirecast.
learned, or I guess I knew when I was here, but I enjoy much, I guess live by much more now that I moved to Switzerland, is that it's fun. Like, it's not supposed to be 4 years, like the worst 4 years of your life, except when you go out on Friday night at Goosebump, The whole thing is supposed to be somewhat fun. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And I was talking to, was it you? You told me instead of being the 4 worst years of my life, I'll make it the 5 best, or not. Someone who told me, like, I will take an extra year at McGill.
This is a
And they said,
demonstration
yeah,
of
I
Wirecast.
want it to be the 5 best years of my life instead of the 4 worst. And I was like, that's really good. And it's okay, like, same thing. I did it in the amount of time I was supposed to in Switzerland, but I thought about it a lot, like, okay, there's also, like, there's financial reasons. For instance, let's say you moving to, like, living in Switzerland for 6 more months is not just like, I think I should take a year more, there's things to take into account. But if it's for the best, and if you think that you will
This
feel
is a
better
demonstration
and do better by
of
taking more time,
Wirecast.
or by doing something else, doing part-time or anything, just find what works for you, and know that whatever works for you best is the best. There's no other solution, and there's no one to judge the path that you take. When I moved to Switzerland, at first people were like, why Switzerland, like, why not a top school in the US, or like, why not work at McKinsey? And I was like, well, I thought about these things, but then I listened to myself, and what I wanted to do was go
This
hike
is
in
a
the Alps
demonstration
and go try
of
something new
Wirecast.
and go learn more. Like, I love school, and yes, okay, I had my doubts, because you need to apply for masters before you're done. So in your last, like, weeks of school here, I was like, why did I sign up for more school? I was like, no. But I had already applied and already accepted, so I knew I was going there. But so, ask yourself these questions. And learn to embrace the adventure. For me, my adventure was to move to Switzerland.
This
for others,
is a
it will be
demonstration of
completely different. But
Wirecast.
find your own adventure and what you want to do, and embrace the unknown too. It's really okay. And I've had my times when I thought I needed to have it all figured out, and then I realized that, nah, it's okay. I really want you to ask me more things, more questions, and we can discuss. It's not just now I talk for a lot, but I really just want us to more talk about things. Yes.
For the last picture, did you buy the bike lock to match the bike, or the jacket?
This is a
to match the bike?
demonstration of
Okay.
Wirecast.
So be yourself also means, really, I'm in mechanical engineering, and sometimes people have an image, they have an image of what you should look like. So I should be a bit more, I don't know, less girly or something. I've had this comment a lot. My car would break down, I would stop in a garage, but have my mechanical engineering hoodie, and he would be like, mechanical engineering. I would be like, yeah, can you help me fix my car? He's like, can't you do it yourself? And I'd be like, no, I'm not a mechanics, you know, like,
This
please
is a
help me fix my
demonstration
car.
of
So,
Wirecast.
you know, for me, it's being girly. I do have a pink jacket, and then for some reason, actually, a friend bought me a pink water bottle. It's a tea mug from David's Tea. And when I went to get a bike, this is a guy bike, you know, because a girl's bike,
It's
it's like the V, whereas this one is straight. So it's a guy bike,
Why is that?
guy
I
model.
have no idea.
But when I went there, I tried a lot of bikes, and then this is the one I liked the most. And I was like, can I live with having a pink jacket and a pink bike? Yeah, I can. I totally can.
This is a
So I
demonstration
took
of
the pink bike, and
Wirecast.
then when I go to pay, he was like, oh, pink bike, cute. Let me give you a pink lock. And I was like, that's fine. I mean, go for it. So yeah, that's a good question. Yes.
I don't know if you answered this already, but when did you know you wanted to do your master's? Was it like towards the end of the third year?
So I had done the SURE program during one summer, so that was kind of a research experience, and then
This is
I
a
was
demonstration
surrounded
of
by
Wirecast.
master's students, PhDs, and postdocs, you know, and so I had talked to them a bit. How is it? Why did you do it? And I couldn't really see myself in them. Like for me, I was more outgoing, and I needed more. I don't know, more excitement than what they were doing in the lab, but I think it's different for everyone. There's other labs where you might find people that are more like you and that do research too. So at first I thought really research looks boring, you know, like I'm happy I did SURE, but that's not what I want to do.
This
And I
is a
think that's partly why
demonstration
I went
of
more of
Wirecast.
a course-based master. But I put a lot of thought into it. During my last year, I would spend, you know, I looked through not all, but a lot of master's degree programs. And what helped me know I wanted to do this is I Skyped with a lot of people that did master's degrees. So I would go on LinkedIn and type, like, let's say I found a master's degree that I thought looked interesting. So program at University.
This
I would
is a
go on LinkedIn and
demonstration
type
of
exactly
Wirecast.
that, then see the list of people, and then sometimes I would have like second connection with people, so I would just shoot them a message and be like, hey, I see that you graduated from this place. I'm interested in the program. Can you chat with me? So I've Skyped with random people that just because they did the program I thought I would be interested in. And that really helped me to know, ew, that's really not what I want to do. Or more like, oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, okay, so part of this program is really what I want, so maybe I can look into something similar.
This is a demonstration
that
of
really helped me.
Wirecast.
And I mean, you said, when did you know you wanted to do your master's? Like I tell you, it was really, up and down. When I applied, I got accepted, and when I got accepted, it was kind of a, whoa, okay. So, am I really going to Switzerland to do this degree? And I had only applied there, which is not necessarily something you should do at all, but just to show you that I wasn't sure I wanted to do it, but it was one of my, I guess, idea or plan, and I just went for it, and then when it came that I got
This
accepted,
is a demonstration
and I was like,
of Wirecast.
wow, Switzerland. Yeah, I'll do it. So, yeah.
Also, a follow-up. Considering you had like internships, how did you like decide? Considering if you wanted to work or go into your master's, like what was your thought process?
Mm-hmm. So I think the good thing about internships is that they help you know what you don't want to do. Really, that's why you should do as many internships as you can, because for some people, no. For some people, it's really they do the internship and they know that's what they want to do, and then they go back and then it's. But most
This
people,
is
they
a
do an internship
demonstration
and they're
of
like,
Wirecast.
good, it was fine. Like I don't want to work there, and it's okay. That's why you should do many, and then you go kind of by elimination. So for me, my first internship was design, so I was doing CAD for satellite parts. Like it sounded cool. Like I went for that company because everyone was like, "You're gonna build satellites," like how cool does that sound? I was like, yeah, that sounds really cool. And I went there and I was like, oh my god, everyone around me was passionate and happy about like satellites and space and things. I
This
think it's
is a
cool.
demonstration
That's not,
of
it's not for me.
Wirecast.
So, but I went there and I did padding and I did design and then I was like, okay, blacklist. This was the blacklist now. And then I did the SURE program to see what research was like. So I was like, research, okay, not too sure. And then I did my third internship in consulting, and it was engineering consulting, and it was green building. Like I was doing kind of, but HVAC, but also geothermal energy and things like that. And that for me was more like, wow, okay, this is more people and
This
to
is
kind
a
of feel
demonstration
like,
of Wirecast.
and when I graduated, I was like, okay, I could find a job in this kind of domain, but how much do I know about, energy and renewable energy? Not that much. So let me go get more knowledge before finding a job that I want to do. It's different for everyone. Some people say, I've done 4 or 5 years at McGill, I've had enough, and I will learn a lot on my first job. And it's true. You also learn a lot when you pick your first job, but I also wanted to travel, and then it was kind of the best package for me.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Yes?
What kind of pizza do you eat?
What kind of pizza?
Yeah.
That's a bit of not touchy. Vegetarian pizza. There you go. Yeah. Yes.
What's your favorite part about, I guess, moving to Switzerland?
My favorite part about moving? Favorite part. I mean, in this case, it's actually being somewhere totally new that has really
This
different
is a
advantages than you
demonstration
have.
of
So
Wirecast.
here, if you want to go somewhere, let's say different, you have to fly for hours or drive for hours, like many hours. Whereas the place I'm now in is like Switzerland, so Central Europe. I can just go anywhere really, really easily. So for me, that's a really big plus. And it's, it's just, I traveled much more by moving to Switzerland, like in total, than I would have ever done if I
This
stayed.
is a demonstration
in Montreal
of
or even
Wirecast.
in the States or something. So I think that overall, that's my really favorite part of having moved. Yes.
Now that you've graduated, what would you say is like your fondest memory of like McGill?
Oh, so many. That's really tough. I can tell you because when you change school, you also realize, what your other school was like much more than when you're just in it and you're, go with the flow every day and you don't necessarily. So really,
This
the kind
is
of
a
community
demonstration
aspect
of
for me
Wirecast.
is so strong at McGill, much stronger than I've seen at my new school and much stronger than I've seen from, I'm with people that come from all different schools across Europe and also a bit of North America, and from what I hear of them, yeah, they have like communities in their old school and they kind of talk about it, but I'm like, doesn't beat McGill, like it's not the same. So here really I guess collaboration aspect and clubs aspects and everything that is like around.
This
that's my,
is a demonstration
of
of Wirecast.
Really a specific memory that would be way too hard, but overall that's really it. And also, I said at the beginning I was a TA, and for me that's also something really that I really, really appreciated out of my time at McGill. It's just, it puts you in the shoes of the professor, I guess. And when you sit in class after, you're a different person. You know what it is to be in front, and yeah, you're different. So I think being a TA
This
was
is
also
a demonstration of Wirecast.
Mission matrices.
Hmm?
Hermitian matrices.
Yes, of course. Anything else? It can be anything, right? I'm really open. Yes?
So what is the hardest part, would you say, about moving to Switzerland? Because like travel's a really exciting concept for me, but
This
like
is a
I guess I'm
demonstration
not
of
really that far from home,
Wirecast.
so I've never really experienced that. But like, what would you say is the hardest part of being away from home?
The hardest part is that you feel like, how do you say, déraciné, like unrooted? Is that a word? No.
Uprooted.
Uprooted, yeah. So let's say you're like a happy tree, right? You've been here all your life, and you have like really strong roots. You have your family, you have maybe your boyfriend, girlfriend, you have your friends, you have your school, you have POW, you're just really
This
well
is a
rooted
demonstration
and
of
know the soil, and
Wirecast.
you're like a happy tree. And then someone just comes, and well, you tell them to do so because it's your decision in the end, but to just like pick you up and then put you, in Switzerland and just put you down. And then it's a new everything, like for me, I picked Switzerland because I knew I could, they speak French in Lausanne where I am. So that for me was one aspect that, okay, I can relate to and I don't have to like learn a completely new language. I would not have moved first to like
This is a
German
demonstration
Switzerland,
of
because I didn't
Wirecast.
speak German, and that would have been really freaky for me. So I picked the French-speaking part, and I picked somewhere where the food is like okay, similar to what I eat, that it's gonna be something I can also relate to. And then different things. I also I studied mechanical engineering here. I decided to keep into mechanical engineering there. So I had certain things I could kind of relate to, and it was easier to adapt. But the whole you have no friends, that's pretty tough. Your family's
This
not there. I
is
know
a
not
demonstration
everyone's,
of
very
Wirecast.
family-oriented, but when you are, and when you've always lived not too far from home, that's a really, really tough thing, to just move away and be like, okay, I'm on my own. Not exactly, but yeah. But as I said earlier, it just really helps you. So when you have no friends, let's say, it's sad to say, but you're not with your friends at the moment, so you're somewhere else, and you have to make new friends. That's when you realize the kind of people you want to surround yourself with, because everyone is
This
new.
is a demonstration
and the
of
people you'll make
Wirecast.
connections with are the kind of people that you want to be with. It's totally new. There's a huge pool of people, and I saw that really well because the kind of best friends I had here, I could almost find their sosie in Switzerland. I was like, okay, I found my really, I guess my roots there. So that was for me, yeah. But it's tough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I asked at the start if some of you are international students and really just did like, ciao,
This
mom and
is a
dad,
demonstration
I think
of
my bag, and go,
Wirecast.
like Montreal, Canada. It is something, and I hadn't realized how big of a deal it was when I was surrounded by international students here. I was like, yeah. I guess I didn't see their struggle that much, mostly because I arrived, and I mean they were U0 for their struggling year, whereas I was in U1 this year. But it is something. Yes.
How often do you speak to your parents? Call them and talk to your friends when you're actually in Switzerland?
Yeah, so that's also very different for everyone. At first, it was almost every day, just because you don't
This
feel
is a
comfortable in your
demonstration
environment
of
and you need that connection
Wirecast.
with home. Now, good friends from McGill, I kept in touch with most of my really good friends from McGill, and we'll Skype maybe once a month or so and be like, okay, what do you do at work? What are you up to? Here's what I did in Switzerland this month, things like that. With boyfriends and family, it's more often, but yeah. And that's also something, moving to somewhere like Switzerland is 6 hours ahead from here. So that means you're never in sync, right? It's really hard to
This
keep
is
in
a
touch
demonstration
with
of
family and friends
Wirecast.
and people who work here because you're 6 hours ahead. So they sleep when you're awake and you sleep when they're awake, pretty much. So that's something. Anything else? It's good? Yes. No
Well, I
problem.
just have a problem with I'm actually going to Switzerland in 2 weeks just to visit my friends doing exchange.
This
Cool.
is
Where?
a demonstration
In
of
Zurich or-
Wirecast.
I'm doing Geneva and Lausanne actually.
Lausanne,
So I might go see a friend and Russia to go skiing. So I don't know if you ever skied there. How is it?
Of course I ski there. You can't
That's
live
pretty
in Switzerland
exciting, yeah.
and not ski there. I mean, I live in so also one thing that was really different for me is I lived in an apartment with my boyfriend in Montreal and then moved to Switzerland to live in a dorm where I have a room that is as big as 2 of these sofas next to each other.
This is a
And I have a
demonstration
kitchen
of
shared with
Wirecast.
20-something people, and it's completely different. But what happens is that you meet people from all over the world, and you live with them. And I lived with people from Russia and anywhere else, and a lot of them had never skied, and I was like, well, we're going to ski. So really, you can live in Switzerland and not ski. But skiing is amazing. It's the Alps, it's bigger than what you can see here. I mean, there's the Rockies in Canada. If you've been skiing west, no. So
I only started skiing 2 years ago, and I'm actually.
Okay.
This is a
no, you can
demonstration
do it.
of
I mean, I'm
Wirecast.
telling you, some of my friends had never skied in their life,
Yeah.
and they still went to ski in the Swiss Alps. So you can do it. Right now it's been snowing a lot for the past while, and the slopes are amazing. So you're gonna love it. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, that's the only thing about Switzerland that is a bit,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a downside. Yeah. Well, I'm really happy for this. Thank you very much for having me.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I guess I want to embrace the adventure. And here's my email address, Miguel address that is good for life. So if you have questions later on or you think of something, you can always write to me. And even if it's, oh, I would be interested in this. Do you know someone who, people have a lot of contacts, and maybe you're not the person that they need to talk to or they need the information from, but they can relay the information. And
this is a demonstration of
I'm in contact with
Wirecast.
so many people who want to go to EPFL or different places in Europe, and because I'm I guess based there at the moment, I've been this kind of person of contact, and might be for a master's in Europe, but it might also be for companies around here or something. I'm always happy to answer your questions, so really just shoot me an email and I'll be happy. And I'll be back. I mean, Miguel is home for me, and Pau is love. So.
This
Thank
is a
you very much. And
demonstration
also,
of
you're the
Wirecast.
one who does the newsletter. Yeah. So the newsletter is amazing. I love the the left column and women of person of the week. I really love that. And Women in Eng Wednesday. Who started that?
We started last year on Instagram.
Yeah, so
Jack
Jack
Harvey
started
Snapchat
last year on Instagram, and then Steph moved to Snapchat this year.
Yeah, I don't have Instagram, so maybe that's why I only learned of it this year. That's also
We
really
should do
good.
it one week.
I could.
Yeah,
It
from
should be a day
Switzerland.
when I'm
This is a
doing something
demonstration
super
of
cool.
Wirecast.
Yeah, no, we can totally do that. I would be happy.
Yeah,
Mechanical engineering, yay! But no, I would totally love that. Yeah. So no, and that's also something. I mean, when I was in PAO, things were going really well, and you're always scared that the year after it's gonna go down a bit. All organizations are cyclic. That's not. That's just how it is. It's a fact. But I mean, PAO is still like this, and I'm like, whoa! It's really good, and it's so good to be back. And good job for conference. I mean, it was
This
really
is a
amazing.
demonstration of
More
Wirecast.
people than Isabella worked on it too, so just congrats. It was really good to be there. Good. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you want the invitation to play again?
Yes.
What's up? I have to go to Moods. Oh, you do? Yeah. I was gonna say I can come to Jai.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Gotta mood it up. Didn't want to go, but Gordon said I
He said you have to even if he's not there.
Yeah, has to.
So we have to let you there.
Yeah,
No, I was trying not to look, but I was like, okay.
Did it
record? Is it like a video?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. We'll find out
Nobody asks any anonymous questions.
I'm actually going to I have 2 friends on it.
This is a demonstration of
I'm
Wirecast.
actually going to go to Switzerland, meet up with one of them. Just to go
Lab.
skiing,
What about lab? We should do this finish it tonight. Tonight? Go do my essay. When's your essay due?
Sweden.
I'm in a business class.
Yeah, exactly.
It's due on Wednesday, Wednesday at noon.
Yeah, that's
No, I'm definitely excited for Switzerland.
It's 1,000 words. Oh, that's which is like a page and a half.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast. This is a demonstration of Wirecast.